The regulation of the heating system is an important aspect, and it must not be underestimated to guarantee the effective achievement of the maximum energy saving, but even to get the best living comfort, which is no longer related only to the check of the heating temperature. At the same time, the radiant floor cooling is taking up space inside our building, and to make it work properly, it is always very important how the regulation is handled, considered the opposite working condition between summer and winter. Energy saving is also guaranteed using the underfloor radiant cooling, since the system does not work with water at 7 Celsius degree, as in a fine cold system, but water is cooled among 15–20 Celsius degree. This helps the improving of the energy efficiency of the heat pumps, and the comfort is also guaranteed due to an homogeneous temperature distribution and thanks to the isothermal dehumidifier, where the air is reintroduced at the same temperature. Underfloor cooling systems, therefore, need to be regulated both from the point of view of the flow rates and the working temperature involved. The flexibility of this operation becomes even more important when it's necessary to switch the working condition from summer to winter season and other way round. Here you can see an example of how Valsir products can help all the professionals involved in the definition and use of this kind of systems. Designers can clearly define all the elements, and the installation companies benefit from this thanks to the quick and easy installation. As a result, the end user will benefit of an easy to adjust and intuitive system with limited use of space in the technical rooms. Here we can see the simulation of a portion of a thermal power station, starting from the hydraulic separator connected to the manifold from the boiler room through a very compact connection kit. The modules for the thermal station are connected to the manifold. Its scope is to recirculate water at the correct temperature and flow. The hydraulic separator is a compensation chamber that makes the connected hydraulic circuit independent. Essentially, it separates the primary circuits, that is the one upstream from the generator connection, from the secondary mixing and flow relancing circuits. The hydraulic separator is made of steel and it is insulated in a 35 mm EPS shell, and it is equipped with multiple hydraulic connections, including the temperature sensor, the safety group, the air vent valve and the system emptying valve. The manifold is connected through the smart kit, which minimizes installation spaces. Therefore, just below the hydraulic separator we find the manifold, which allows to use the distribution module from the thermal plant easily and in a reduced space. It has been designed with compact size to save space in the installation room, in order to not reduce the internal living areas. The manifold is made of steel and it is insulated in a 35 mm EPS shell, and it is possible to reverse the connection to adapt to any configuration systems. The mixing groups for central plants are installed right on the manifold. They are used to relaunch the hot or cold water with flow rates and pressure heads that cannot be managed from the heat or cooling sources. Different solutions can be found in the Valsir catalog, for example the simple booster groups without mixing valve, which are commonly called high temperature groups, because they do not have to mix the water at lower temperature. Here shown on the right an example, available in sizes DN25 and DN32. They can handle flow rates higher than 2.5 cubic meters per hour with a head of 7–8 meters. On the left, we have a mixing group. A three-way valve takes part of the water directly from the return side and part from the supply side, bringing the water temperature back to the design condition. It is available in sizes DN25 and DN32 and can handle flow rates higher than 2.5 cubic meters per hour with an hydraulic head of 7-8 meters. The working logic of a mixing group can be of two types: fixed point or variable point. In the fixed point regulation, the water supply temperature downstream the mixing valve is kept constant at the same temperature regardless of the variation of the external temperature. It is very important to check and manage room internal temperature with thermostat to avoid overheating, especially in autumn and spring, where the thermal loads required are quite low. The regulation system acts on the opening and closing of the valve to keep the working water temperature constant. In case of only heating system, the mixing can be managed by a thermostatic head. Otherwise, a servo motor and an external control unit must be installed. The variable point regulation, on the other hand, involves modifying working water temperature of the radiant system downstream of the mixing valve according to the external temperature. The relationship between the working water temperature and the external temperature is called the climatic curve. It is necessary to check not only the temperature downstream of the mixer, but also the external temperature by a climatic external sensor. This type of regulation is normally carried out by an electronic system that acts through a servo motor on the opening or closing of the mixing valve. This type of regulation is normally carried out by an electronic system that acts through a servo motor on the opening or closing of the mixing valve. Varying the flow rate ratio between the heating fluid from the sources and the one taken from the return side, the mixing valve changes the working water temperature according to the external temperature, following a climatic curve that can be set according to the building energetic characteristics. From the point of view of the end user, the comfort regulation becomes the setting of two simple parameters, such as the temperature and the humidity. On the left, you can see the in-wall thermostat, which can be installed in a classic electric box. With its linear design and touchscreen function, it is particularly suitable for residential building and allows the control of the room temperature. Thanks to the possibility of defining 3 different comfort temperatures and different weekly programs, the system working can be easily adjusted according to the lifestyle of the householder, and it can work both in heating and cooling. The wiring is strongly reduced because the power supply is sourced by a battery. Output is a simple dry contact that allows to control heat pumps or boiler, circulator or thermostatic heads. Here we can see the humidistat. It lets us to control humidity in a simple way with a mechanical control. It has to be installed to switch on or off the dehumidification. The last component we show is the Y-Clima Evo. This tool was born from the need to control different parameters in a simple way in the latest generation building, without letting the end user modify the main operating parameter of the system. Therefore, looking at a modern building equipped with high-tech system, it is important to have an instrument that can work on winter and summer. It can define different weekly programs, manage the humidity rate by activating or switching off the dehumidification, and define a program for activation or deactivation phases for the HRV heat recovery ventilation system. Furthermore, all the components connected to the Y-Clima Evo for the thermostat function can be connected wired or in radio frequency, while the HRV and dehumidification function are controlled in radio frequency, reducing so the complexity of the wiring and making it ideal even in case of renovation. Another important feature of this element is the Wi-Fi function. Connected to a Wi-Fi network, the Y-Clima Evo can be completely controlled via mobile application or using Alexa and Google Home voice commands. Here below we have a vertical wall-mounted isothermal dehumidifier. Just as much the humidity contained in the air condenses on a cold glass, it can condense on a cold surface, such as the radiant floor, which is working in cooling mode. In relation to the quantity of water contained in the air, and so the relative humidity rate, it is therefore necessary to humidify the rooms to reduce the possibility to have condensation on the floor. This is because the radiant cooling works on the sensitive part of the energy contained in the air, but not on the latent one, which is the vapor contained in the air in form of humidity. The machine proposed here is the Wood-Dry Air Evo 260 vertical installation. That is an isothermal dehumidifier for wall installation. During the summer, thanks to the isothermal cycle, it supplies air at a neutral temperature compared to the air in the environment, guaranteeing the highest level of living comfort. During the winter, it is even possible to use the hydronic battery to integrate the radiant system. The support structure of the dehumidifier is made with galvanized metal plate. The fan unit consists of an high-efficiency and noiseless centrifugal fan with a 3-speed engine. Compared to the previous generation of dehumidifier, it is possible to keep part of the heads and convey the flow from above into ducts. Air treatment is guaranteed by a refrigeration circuit consisting of a pre-treatment and post-treatment coil in copper pipes and aluminium fins, the compressor that is mounted on an anti-vibration mount, the expansion capillary and filter dryer. Through clean contacts, the machine can be easily controlled by different systems, and it guarantees air dehumidification with the introduction of air at the same temperature. The outer case is made of galvanized metal plate, and it is developed to make the dehumidifier wall-mounted installation quick and easy. The metal structure made it easy to lay and grip the finishing plaster, and it is equipped with holes for pipes and cable, fixing point for the unit and hooks for the front panel. The frame is equipped with a lower recess to facilitate any maintenance. There is also an upper precut for the connection with the plenum to the ceiling. The cover panel is also made of galvanized sheet metal colored in white. The design, with only 1.6 mm thickness, makes it particularly pleasant and can be integrated into residential environments. It is designed to be hooked to the outer casing. We have then two further dehumidifying machines for the horizontal installation, one with flow rate of 250 cubic meters per hour, while the second with a flow rate up to 520 cubic meters per hour. The machines are designed with compact dimension to be easily installed in false ceiling, not exceeding the 40 cm.